Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Barak Dash. All praises, honor, and glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to your apostles and elders and bishops and GMS, great millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and nothing but the truth in the name. Oh, and it's 1:44 on the clock. All praise Yahweh Shema Shah, the body Yahweh Shema Shah. But to all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and power Yahweh Shema Shah. Trying to teach you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. I forgot what I'm about to say. Shoot, as soon as I said no, this was 1:44. But anyway, hey, here to teach, here to warn you about what's going on. And now in this video here, it's about famine of bread, and it's not just in America. It's gonna affect the whole world too. So anyway, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripture, my best ability, say whatever God say. Through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Krahak Dash, Lord wouldn't be on me. Let's get it.
Welcome back. As the world's population grows, companies around the world continue to look for ways to produce more food faster and sustainably. Enter the French company Inno.
Look at this. I ain't even watched this my first time. I mean, I see they got freaking... and it's for the animals. Animals aren't supposed to eat no fucking bugs, nigga. What the fuck? Well, there's certain bugs, animals that do eat bugs, but I'm talking about animals like cows. You know, animals that we feed off of them, no pigs. No, you don't eat that shit anyway. Eating a pig be like eating a damn fly. But cows aren't supposed to eat no fucking bugs and shit. And they trying to push this shit on humans to eat bugs. You was eats the bugs. Man, fuck these niggas, man. That's what we gotta get the fuck out. We already eating some bugs in our food. They've been grinding in the flour and the sugar or whatever the hell. God dang.
Feed, doing just that with, of all things, the black soldier fly, a protein-rich super insect, if you will, that can convert waste into feed for livestock.
You know she's a professional when she's just telling you this shit with a straight face.
In honor of Earth Month, our Maggie Rulli visited the world's largest bug farm, home to 10 billion larvae, to find out how.
Just outside the baguette and croissant-filled streets of Paris, a very different kind of delicacy is being cooked up.
Welcome to the world's largest bug farm.
Yes, that's right. We're talking about bugs as food.
Now you know who owned this shit. So-called white man. This nigga need to go, man. Amalek. Esau eating so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's raising a baby dick sucking Jewish fag nigger. Amalek. This nigga need to go, bro. He fucking up the animals, man. And soon he gonna want us to eat this shit.
All right, this place might look like I'm in the middle of a creepy sci-fi movie, but actually, this place is trying to revolutionize the way we feed
Bitch, shut up.
livestock. And
Stupid nigger.
they're doing it all with the simple fly. What got you first interested in the
Oh, what the fuck? It's Moab.
space of a bug farm?
We got interested in the fact that with the growing population,
Or Ammon, I don't know, but shit. They fucking heathen. They nasty niggas.
we need not only to produce more food, but to produce
I
it
thought it was Esau that was in this bitch. That is, and it's a Moabite bitch promoting this shit.
more sustainably.
Oh, she's the co-founder. Man, that bitch need to go too.
That's when Ode Woe, the co-founder of French
But you know what? This shit probably fronted by Esau. Esau backing this shit. The elite, of course.
company InnovaFeed and her team discovered the black soldier fly with similar amounts of protein as beef. This super insect can also convert waste into feed for livestock. And in doing so, they're disrupting the food industry.
What the hell they said? In the 1960s, the amount of bugs in your car's headlights was like a snowstorm. The chickens would eat bugs. Yeah, chicken, that's right. Chickens eat bugs. Now, you hardly see any bugs. Oh, yeah, you hardly see any bugs on the windshield. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. You hardly see bugs on the windshield, on your headlights. The blood splatters. Blood spatters. You never see that shit. Hardly see it. I guess it depends on, but it be everywhere. It depends on where you living or driving. I don't know. But anyway, was an alarm when I realized this. Shit. The Soldier Fly Union will not be ignored. Whatever. Anyway, back to the video.
which Ode says accounts for almost 30%.
Oh yeah. You got chickens that eat bugs, which there's nothing wrong with that. But shit, it's not part of a fucking cow's diet or a human's diet.
World's total CO2 emissions. She told us.
And it's funny, the chickens will have a feast, a hell of a feast eating these damn things. But they trying to kill that off. They trying to setting chicken facilities on fire and shit. Tell you this famine coming, it's gonna affect man and beast. They talking about this gonna be a revolutionary way to feed Goyim cattle.
Crops we produce, and a third of the fish we catch every year are fed to the animals that we then eat.
That's why Ode wants to feed these animals insects instead, potentially slashing energy, emissions, and costs.
What kind of energies and emissions does it cost to have a cow eat fucking grass? And chickens already eat bugs anyway. They out there with free-range chickens. Free-range cows eat grass. They don't eat no fucking bugs. And how they lower emissions? They fucking ain't gonna shit right if they eat a fucking soldier fly. They gonna probably have bubble guts, and the intestine gonna be all turned up into a knot. And anyway, these niggas are retarded.
I was ready.
These fucking dumb fucking heathens.
To suit up and see the flies for myself.
All right, now it's time to go
Really, she gotta put a hard hat on. Oh, dumb bitch.
see these bugs.
Jeremy Ruthman is head of operations. He calls the 10 billion
I guess you do have to have a hard hat being around all this metal shit.
flies they grow here his babies.
We've been smelling insects
No fly don't hit you upside your head.
the whole time. Yeah. But now the new smell is.
But wait a minute, they talking about energy costs. Look at all this shit that creates energy. Look at all this energy shit. Look at all this. I know there's a lot of energy. I don't know what is a turbine or some shit. Look at all this shit. They in a fucking factory. You don't need no factory to feed a fucking chicken. You just need nature. These niggas fucking that up. You don't need no damn factory to feed a cow. You need nature. Shit. Look at this shit. Look at all this energy.
Larvae growth.
Yeah, it's a larvae growth, yeah.
He sounds a fucking nigger.
Potent.
Our first stop was to see where the flies are born.
All right, so right now we're heading to the eggs. It's almost, you see, like the hatchery of this whole process.
Exactly.
The black soldier fly lives to reproduce. It grows to 5,000 times its body weight in
Goodness gracious, do you really want to eat this motherfucker?
just under 2 weeks. A fish would take 18 months to do the same. That means more food faster.
Everything starts here with the babies. You can see it moves. That are
Are they moving right now?
yeah, it's the neonates.
What? Oh, that's a trip. That's a trip to look at.
Oh wow, that's a trip to look at. Won't you eat that shit, bitch?
These baby flies eat byproducts from a nearby wheat factory. As they fatten, they mature into teens.
So in just 8 days, those tiny, tiny flies have become teenagers. Here they are.
And after just another 8 days, they're adults.
Oh, they're a lot more active now. You can
Yeah,
feel them in your
exactly.
hand. Oh, it's a very weird tickling sensation. Ooh.
Why don't you eat some of it? It'd be tickling in your throat and shit.
It really reminds you that they're bugs when you hold them.
When those adult larvae die, their bodies are separated into solids and fats. The solids are ground into a protein used in fish meal. The fats become an oil used in feed for chickens and pigs. The bug feces are also collected and used as a fertilizer on the same wheat field that produces the bugs.
Wait. So they using pig shit as a fertilizer? Now you can use chicken. There's nothing wrong. I mean, but yeah, chickens that eat bugs, nothing wrong with that. But cows don't eat bugs. Chickens, pigs, they'll eat any fucking thing. That's why you don't supposed to eat a fucking pig. They'll eat their cells. Shit. Goddamn pigs are just shit eaters. They waste eaters. They living trash compactors.
Feed. It's a circular, waste-free system.
I think
Get the fuck out of here.
the benefit of insect production versus
And all you see is faces of fucking red devils and sleen-eyed niggas. Well, I won't take nothing back. You know, you gonna have Israelites that gonna look like these niggas. But still, it's nothing but heathens. I'll just say it like that. Moab and Esau. Goddamn. Anyway,
livestock is
mostly Esau is behind all this shit. And look at this fucking devil. Yes, I think it's gonna save the planet. It's gonna do good for people and fuck their guts up and make them shit all sideways and I don't know, out of their mouths, all kind of shit. I don't want to talk this stuff, but come on, bro. This make you want to curse these niggas out, man.
speed.
Even you low-level devils gonna be able to eat shit like this. And it's your own people pushing this shit.
Space, efficiency. We're talking about taking things of no value and creating value.
Dr. Jeffrey Toberlin has been studying the black soldier fly for decades.
Now, that shit has a value. That them flies, they do have a value, but not to fucking eat. No animal or human consumption. I mean, chickens will eat that shit. Certain birds can eat the bugs.
He says using insects as feed is poised to become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Are black soldier flies safe to eat?
All right, that's enough, man. I had enough of this shit. Oh, hold on. Well, they say it's gonna safe to eat. Let's see what kind of lie he gonna say. Some scientific bullshit.
If they follow the regulations that are currently in place, yes.
Wait a minute. He didn't answer the question.
Insects as feed is poised to become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Are black soldier flies safe to eat?
If they follow
the
regulations that are currently
regulations. Oh my god. He didn't answer the question. Yes or no, nigga. He ain't gotta say all that other shit.
in place, yes.
And NovaFeed also.
So I guess it's a yes, it's safe. Well, anyway. Then this shit ain't gonna save. Nigga, nobody wanna eat no bugs in it. Well, shit. What do people normally eat? What do people normally eat? Actual real food. Hamburger, french fries, American hot dogs. They eat some salad, some pizza, but that's all junk anyway. Well, there's some real food, fruits and vegetables. But look, now, all those years of eating fruits and vegetables and bread and just actual real food, now you're going to eat the bugs. Get the fuck out of here. You know you in the last days, man.
Grow some of their larvae to full term. Those flies reproduce and make the next generation of bugs.
So come in fast with us.
The moment of truth had arrived. I was going in.
I don't know, am I ready? Let's do it, I'm ready. Come. We are standing in a room full of flies. The flies are on
Why is this bitch so excited? Look, she caught a fly in her mouth. She probably eating it right now, nasty bitch.
camera lens right now. It might seem bizarre, but really what's in this room right
now? It's fucking way beyond bizarre. I can't find the words.
Now could be life-changing. So much, in fact, that...
How can they fucking it's life-changing. This got a fly flew in her eye. One trying to get inside her ear. One is all in her boogers in her nose. Two of them flew in their mouth.
There's so much top secret IP in this industry.
Top secret?
Can't show half of what's in this room on camera.
For our final stop, we go up and up and up.
All this money, look at this shit. All this money and energy just for you to eat the bugs. Get the fuck out of here. And they talk about energy free. It costs so much energy to do the natural way. It's fucking natural. The sun comes up, makes the grass grow, and rain comes down and it helps that too. I mean, it's all free. It's a cycle. They talk about the cycle of how they doing things when it comes to this feeding livestock with bugs. Nigga, that shit costs so much money. See, Esau trying to do this pseudo way of feeding living beings on Earth. It's not right.
To the heart of the...
And if you think this is okay, man, nigga, you need to die. You need to die, really. From fucking stomach cancer or whatever, from eating this shit.
Operation.
Right now, we're kind of at the farm.
Who would imagine having your food on top of your head? That's crawling all over your body. Your food is crawling all over you. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Is that right? So where the fly meat, the larvae are...
These niggas are nasty. Look at this shit.
Being fattened up before eventually they become those end products.
All this facility is just for fucking... Anyway, let me get the fuck out of here. Let me read this scripture, because I can't play this shit no more, because I'm talking so damn much. This shit is just absolutely ridiculous. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And the Lord Yahweh said, even thou shalt the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. This is the type of shit we're going to be eating. Now, this is what these devils want us to eat. The hell with that. And eating this shit with the Gentiles, the other heathens, man, no thanks. You can take that fly and shove it up your whatever. I don't know. If you want to watch the rest of this shit, here go the title of the video. There go the channel. Let's move on to the next one. Boy, people going to be starving. They probably going to end up resulting in eating the bugs. That's what these niggas want to do. They fucking with the food supply. And then let's see what they talk about when it comes to water. Because, you know, water is critical and food needs water.
Right now, parts of the United States are running
some shit about droughts. Let me get that too. In Georgia.
Running out of water. And for the majority of Americans, they don't know how serious this actually is. But the truth is this, that cities are already restricting water usage. Some are saying that you can't water your lawns between this time and this time. Others say no more washing your car at your own property. There's a lot of issues happening right now. I want to explain what's going on because experts say this could get much worse in just the next several months. But look at this right here. It says, this right here is the U.S. Drought Monitor. Look at this right here. Okay, so you can see these areas right here in the dark red, that is the extreme drought. Okay, in the red, that is severe drought. In the yellow, that is abnormally dry. And here's the issue. That is covering much of the...
It is pretty dry. Shit. I was going out about to cut grass today. Well, I already went down. I already did 2 yards. And the first yard I was going to cut, and this shit looked like it didn't need cutting. It's a big old yard, too. I called and I left a text message to the woman. She never answered the phone, so I left a text message and because I wasn't sure she needed to cut, but now today I found out she talking about some she don't need my service anymore because her husband gonna cut the yard because they can't afford that shit. Yeah, they can't afford the service on the yard. They should have thought about it before they got the damn house. Yeah, this is a big yard. I mean, it ain't big, but I mean it's a decent amount. They had like $90 for that shit. But anyway, this shit's so dry. These yards are so dry. Even my yard. I'm glad I ain't got to really cut it. I know I actually got to cut my front yard. The backyard ain't really growing as much. But a lot of these folks' yards right now, they looking dry.
United States.
But anyway, enough about me and my,
But guess what? Everyone's talking about the West Coast and how the West Coast is going to have an extreme fire season this year. Well, guess what? The farmers are saying their crops, the drought that they've experienced, that is impacting them severely. But it's the majority of southern states, not the West Coast. Again, I'm going to show it to you one more time. These are the states that are being impacted the most here, not over here on the West Coast. That's the reason why I bring it to your attention. Everyone thinks, oh, it's just the West Coast. They'll be fine. Everyone thinks, oh, the West Coast is just California. No, it's not. Look at this right here.
It's Babylon the Great being played by Yahweh Shema Shah, man.
It says Idaho declares drought.
44 counties.
Emergency for all 44 counties as snowpack hits record lows. They are already declaring an emergency due to a drought. Okay, I want to read this to you really quick. It says, state water officials say the move gives farmers and other water users more flexibility to manage limited water supplies during the dry conditions. The emergency declaration allows temporary changes to existing water rights for the rest of the year, as long as those changes do not harm other water users. Okay, again, Idaho's experienced a drought. Doesn't stop there. Listen to this one. This is Kearney, Arizona.
The note on the door of City Hall lays it all out. The green bar is how much water Kearney uses. The purple line is how much water they have. When the green bar hits the purple line, that's it. They're out of water. And that will be 3 months from now.
So for Kearney, Arizona, by July 15th, they will be out of water. That means you will not be able to turn on the faucet and see water come out. They will have no water. How concerning is that? That's what we want to avoid because they are already hitting the panic button. Residents are already saying they're going to buy big 50-gallon barrels and try to fill it up with rainwater, but they don't know when it's going to.
And that shit, them damn barrels expensive. I remember I bought some for $50 or $40. Now them bitches like $100 to $200 damn dollars, depending on where you're going. Mostly it's like $100 to $200. Some charging $300 just for a plain 55-gallon water barrel. Yeah, probably used. But anyway,
rain. Again, those are the issues we're about to face. Look at this one. It says the city of Raleigh water restrictions begin on Monday as drought persists. It says starting Monday, April 20th, the city of Raleigh is implementing stage 1 water use restrictions to preserve the local supply amid lingering drought conditions. I want to read this to you. Look at this right here. This is stage 1. So first off, automatic and non-automatic sprinkler irrigation or spray irrigation is allowed between midnight and 10 a.m. Homes with odd-numbered addresses.
Pretty much rationing water. Yup. Just like they soon gonna be rationing food. Can you imagine that happening in America? I can. Shit, some of these people can't. They need to get their heads out the sand or out the hole, and realize, there's gonna be a lot of changes, and get ready for being uncomfortable.
May water on Tuesdays. Homes with even number addresses may water on Wednesdays. Irrigation of landscape is recommended at a minimum or a maximum of 1/2 inch per week. Water customers must abide by required water use reductions and efficiency measures. Penalties apply for non-compliance. That's stage 1. Okay, they do not want to get to stage 2. They don't want to. That's the issue, though, is people don't realize that the drought that we've experienced this year, the snowpack, the record lows that we're experiencing, especially here on the West Coast, is substantial. And again, it's a huge problem. I want to show you something though. Look at this article right here. It says these 10 states had the biggest crop losses due to drought. Okay, I was reading this article just this morning. Thought it was interesting because of the states that are in this. First, I want to show you this though. It says among the states on the list, the total value of crops lost to drought since 2016 ranges from $18.7 million to nearly $750 million. Accumulatively, these states alone account for nearly 98% of the total value of crop losses due to drought conditions in the U.S. since 2016. They account for 98%. Again, that's a massive amount. I want to show you the states though. Look at these states and tell me how many are on the West Coast. Number 10 is Maine. Total crop losses over the past 9 years, 18.7 million. Nebraska, 33.6 million. Mississippi, 57.7 million, 5 million. Kansas, 59.6 million. New Hampshire, 61.5 million. Minnesota, 108.8 million. You got Missouri, 131.8 million. Iowa, 184.6 million. Texas, 230.3 million. And then you got South Dakota, total crop damage due to drought, $749.8 million. Okay, in 9 years. Again, you think this is just starting? You think this is kind of getting out of hand? You're right. It is getting out of hand. But
that means beginning of the plagues the Lord bringing.
Many believe
you gotta seek them and repent. Do the best you can do.
That because the super El Nino, look at this article as well. It says strong El Nino could worsen Washington fire season. I live in Washington State. This is one of the concerns, is that we are going to have fires just all over the state, all over the West Coast, really. We are going to have smoke pretty much covering our air quality will be poor, most likely all summer. That's what we're already anticipating. Okay, that's likely what's going to happen. But the reason why I bring it to your attention today, one of the big concerns is water, right? The drought, obviously. But I want to read something to you. Okay, they say this is where we're at right now. We have empty reservoirs. We have water restrictions starting. Food prices are currently rising, and fire risk is pretty much at all-time highs based off of what we're seeing. Okay, or at least leading into the summer. Now I want to break this down. First off, when there's water shortages, cities limit usage. When we limit usage, we usually see a lot of the vegetation, everything becomes very dry. Having dry vegetation, and we're going into a very hot season, and some are saying this is going to be a super El Nino, that's extremely concerning. That right there should just tell us that yes, it's going to be a bad spring and bad summer. They say if this occurs, which is very highly likely, they say crops are going to struggle, which means prices are going to surge. So prepare for that. Then they say prepare for wildfires. Okay? Just prepare for wildfires that are going to impact every single community. That's what we're hearing. Okay? So this isn't going to happen. This is already starting. We are already preparing for this. So over the next 90 days, prepare for what could be a rough summer. But I'll leave you with that. If you have any questions,
yeah, prepare for Jacob's trouble. Let's get to the next one. How long is that? That's like 15. No, that's 50 minutes. That's a short video.
Welcome to Way of the Hunter 2.
This morning, severe drought conditions continue to impact parts of our state. Farmers say that they are struggling to maintain moisture in the fields. Firefighters are also responding to more out-of-control grass and brush fires. And for farmers, this drought, as you can imagine, is hitting their wallet. Water levels in creeks and...
Say, this hit my wallet too. Well, not so much. I mean, I'm still cutting some yards, but it's just the beginning of it. And it just started. This is only April. Shit. Hell, this growing season too. This is only April. April supposed to be raining. April showers, but shit, last time I seen some rain was last week. Shit, I'm gonna be taking some time off if this keeps going. But hey, man, I don't think I can do it. Just pray about and you know. I was thinking about that gonna quit my other job because I was like, man, I don't even feel like I didn't even come in yesterday. I just wasn't feeling it. But you know what? I might need to keep that shit just in case. Just in case. Because if I ain't doing no work, because I got to cut yards. If the grass ain't growing much and it's all dry, then I ain't going to be doing no cutting. I'll end up still having a job. Can't hardly pay the bills with that job, but whatever.
Ponds are dropping, the soil is baking hard, and seeds may not germinate until the next decent rain.
Ground gets really dry, gets really hard. That makes getting the ground ready to be planted more difficult. And all of these variables can be detrimental when it comes to our yield potential of a crop.
So farmers say despite the high fuel costs, higher fertilizer prices, and one of the driest springs on record, they are trying to remain optimistic.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway. Ecclesiastes chapter 29, verse 21. The chief thing for life is water, and bread, and clothing, and house to cover shame. But the point is water. That's the chief thing for life. And then you got all these other stuff. But the first one is water. And that's something that every living creature needs, or food needs, whatever. If they ain't got it, then it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be rare to get. Shit. These players of the Lord better seek them. Seek y'all by Shema Shah. Let me get another scripture. And it's happening. I mean, it's happening worldwide, but I'm just gonna stick with y'all because this is about America. That video. Yeah, but it's droughts going on all over the world. But here in America, shit, the Lord gonna play this place like no other. Worse than ancient Egypt. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 38. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images. So people just be here worshiping all kind of crap. Yeah, and they are mad upon their idols. So like I said, they worshiping all these idols from Allah, Buddha, Jiba, and all that dumb shit. And now look at your asses. Yeah, and the Lord jacking you up. Yahweh Shema Shah ain't pleased with all these stupid idols. You know, you stupid ass people doing stupid shit, worshiping things, especially you Israelites. Let me get another scripture. And like I said, the Lord's plaguing. It was plaguing Egypt. Hell, he plaguing. This is Egypt all over again. Spiritual Egypt, actually. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with fearful consolation. So all that blasting and hail, that's from like natural disasters, droughts and such. And with a fearful consolation, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, destruction to the world. Yeah, let's get to the next video.
Farmers say that rising fertilizer prices are putting a pressure on an industry that's already dealing with years of higher costs.
And they warned the latest spike could impact all of us at the grocery store. Derek Rush reports from South Carolina.
Fertilizer's been up tremendously this year, so it's probably up a third, just this spring.
For South Carolina farmers, this is more than sticker shock. It's another financial hit in an industry already stretched thin. And growers say this one could affect everything from crop yields to food prices down the line.
Nitrogen right now is up $150 a ton from where it was before military action in Iran.
Farmers say the current squeeze is being driven by a mix of global and long-running pressures. Some of those costs have been building for years, including after tariff increases, not long after USDA funding cuts by the federal government for farms across the state of South Carolina in the past year. Now, instability in the Middle East and disruptions involving major fertilizer shipping routes are tightening supply even more.
I'm getting worried. I started farming in the 80s, and it was bad in the 80s. It was 18% interest, and other things were working against it. I can tell you this is a repeat of the 80s, and it was a sad situation.
Yeah, the Lord used to ride on a donkey.
The fourth generation to come here and farm, and I'm afraid I'm going to be the generation that doesn't make it.
And for farmers here in the Southeast, waiting it out is not really an option. Crops are already being planted, budgets are already committed, and many say they had no choice but to buy at the peak. Because when fertilizer costs rise, farmers say the snowball effect doesn't stop in the field.
A cheap, abundant food supply is what we provide in this country, and a lot of the economy is based on that, right? When the price of food goes up, that's less money that folks have to spend on other goods. I'm afraid that this is going to have a broader effect of the economy than people realize.
Farming is very difficult because the supply side of this equation is just too much right now.
All right, inflation, shall we? Inflation, we have Donald Trump. He gave an interesting interview here with Maria Bartiromo. Here he is saying that the Iran war is closer than ever. And guys, let's just run it concurrent with him talking about inflation. So let's take a listen to these two clips.
I had to divert, because if I didn't do that, right now you would have Iran with a nuclear weapon. And if they had a nuclear weapon, you would be calling everybody over there, sir. And you don't want to do that.
Well, you keep saying was. Is this war over?
I think it's close to over, yeah. I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild that country. And we're not finished. We'll see what happens. I think they want to make a deal very badly.
Is that going to...
Goodness gracious. Man, these niggas lying to you motherfuckers. Anyway.
be enough to offset the increase in gasoline prices?
It will be, because gasoline's coming down very soon and very big.
Just like you said, that when before you came into office, you said the food prices are going to be dropped, but they still fucking high. The victuals shall be good and cheap, but it ain't right now. I mean, yeah, nigga, you say you gonna stop the wars, but nigga, you at war. Get the fuck out of here. You still at war with so many places around the world. Hell, you in war with your own citizens. A lot of your own citizens want to kill your monkey ass. Shit. They already are. Just like them tech oligarch folks. They try to firebomb Sam Alton's house twice. Yeah, that baby dick sucking Jewish faggot fucker Amalek try to set that nigga ass on fire, or his house on fire. Yeah. Anyway.
So you think gas prices will be lower before the midterm elections?
I think they'll be much lower before midterm, much lower, yes.
Okay.
Really? Make note of that.
Now,
I mean, that's on the assumption that we stop a country that cannot have a nuclear weapon from... If you give Iran a
goodness gracious, anyway,
nuclear weapon, you want to see bad stock markets? You won't have a country. The world will be blown up. You can't do it. You cannot do it. So on the assumption we have that settled, hopefully long before that, and maybe almost immediately. Could be very soon.
Could be very soon. On the assumption that we have it solved by then, yeah, I don't think so. So it's what's today's date? It's April. All right.
Pretty much, they just fucking with you people. Y'all people are fucked. America is fucking fucked.
So the midterms are in 6 months. What we know from right now is that the amount of oil backlog and just shock generally to production is a minimum of 3 to 4 months before things can somewhat resume to normal. That's if things end today, all right? So not some like, oh, in the future and all of that. So we have 27% cut from OPEC. Let's put, what is it?
Can we just pause there? Because while that was happening, I went and pulled up what Donald Trump actually told Maria Bartiromo herself 2 days ago on Sunday Morning Futures. She asked him the exact same question. Do you believe the price of oil and gas will be lower before the midterm elections? This was Donald Trump's answer. I hope so. I mean, I think so. It could be, or the same, or maybe a little bit higher, but it should be around the same. I think this won't be that much longer. He's saying in 2 days ago, an interview with the exact same person to the exact same question, maybe actually it'll be higher. And then 2 days later, he's like, no, it'll be much lower. It's coming down soon.
Right. And let's put A6 on the screen just to give everybody an idea. We still remain at $4.11 a gallon here nationally. And I mean, in some ways, the national price isn't really like reflective. If we take the major population centers, so let's take like what's the biggest population in the country, California. They're paying $5.87 a gallon. Next is what, Texas, right? So they're paying $3.76 a gallon. Florida, $4.14 a gallon. New York State, $4.12 a gallon. Pennsylvania, $4.13 a gallon. I mean, if you actually look at the most populous states in the country, it's actually higher in most cases, except for Texas, where all the refineries are.
I noticed it has dropped a little bit. I went to the gas station today to fill up on and diesel dropped down. Say a few cents less than last time I seen. Yeah, but shit, still, I mean, it's gonna eventually go right back up. It's gonna eventually go back up.
What the national average is. And, you know, even the Pacific Northwest is just getting absolutely hammered, but also, you know, the entire Acela corridor, from everything I'm seeing, is well over $4 a gallon on top of Florida. And so, yeah, like maybe like more rural states or, you know, North Dakota or Nebraska are $3.60 or something, but the vast majority of people are paying well into $4 a gallon, which is, at this point, I saw a gas analyst say that they have spent tens of billions more on gas than if this war had never happened. So it's not just about the cost of the United States, which is probably what, I don't know, 50, 60 billion just in sheer hard cost from what the Iran war has cost. Think about all the money out of our pocketbooks that is just spent on gas, not to mention everything else, right? Yeah. And so with inflation, it's really pernicious. Let's put A1 up here. This was from the IMF. They say that the Middle East war will slow global economic growth. The conflict will fuel another bout of inflation. War in the Middle East has upended the global economy, and they say specifically they have downgraded all growth forecasts globally, exposing the economic fallout. Quote, the global outlook is abruptly darkened following the outbreak of war in the Middle East. The war interrupted what had been a steady growth trajectory. Here's the kill shot. In the best case scenario, the fund expects global growth to fall to 3.1% this year from 3.4. That is down from the 3.3 that the fund projected in January, and is also lower than 3.4 growth that it was prepared to project before the war broke out and oil shipments across the Middle East happened. Now, of course, GDP growth and all that is not everything, as we've covered ad nauseum here on the show. But I think in this case, what we do know is that it's going to hit specifically the consumer sector, which is the lifeblood of the U.S. economy.
We'll see what happens with the Fed too.
Right. Exactly.
Big
high inflation. You know, how are you gonna affect rates? They're almost certainly not gonna cut rates. What's the mortgage rate at today? Like 7%?
It's up there.
That's an unanswered question for Trump. That's
disaster, right? And then his own guy, what is it, Kevin Warsh, I think is before the U.S. Senate. Sometime soon, his vote is supposed to happen. He's going to face significant questions over it. He may not even get confirmed, as I understand it, because he has problems with, what's his name, Tom Tillis, is that right? Over at North Carolina. So there's that. There's also, we have to comment on this. We talked yesterday about the DoorDash grandma grim sentence here in the U.S. She was brought to the Oval Office to talk about how greatly she has benefited from no tax on tips. You ask me, you hear a story like hers, that story should be...
Alright, anyway, next video.
Food's going up again, just like it did during COVID. When 2017 prices skyrocketed, they never came back down again. We're going to experience the same exact thing. This time it's going to level up. It's going to stay there for years. IMF looking around 6% inflation for the year for food. I say it's going to be way higher because we got steaks up, burgers up, meat up, corn, wheat, rice up in price, all the vegetables, all the fruit. And now we have a plastic shortage to pack all that, so it's even going to cost more money every input. So how much more are we going to pay through these next years? Let's talk about cost inputs. Fertilizer increasing 70% in price. A lot of U.S. farmers can't afford that, so they're going to pull back on the amount of fertilizer application. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You pull back 1%, your crop yields are 1% lower on average. Just a easy napkin math. So if a farmer pulls back 10%, their yields are going to decline 10%. Let's look at the percentage of fertilizers pre-booked. Now, pre-booked means they bought it before the season, like right now. They bought it last quarter, somewhere probably November, December of last year, even earlier. So the Midwest, obviously, they're in front. That's the grow belt of our nation. They're always going to be on top of it, ahead of it. But look at the Southeast, only 20% of that. That means 80% of the people didn't buy it until now. The Northeast, 30%. Means 70% of the farmers didn't buy until now with these elevated prices. So just a decline in the crop yield is going to drive prices up. Scarcity, less availability. That's why wheat and corn are going up. Let's look at the IMF urging members, as in every country, to be prepared for market dysfunction and liquidity squeezes, meaning money's going to dry up, things are going to get way more expensive, inflation's going to run to unbelievable heights, and, well, prepare your nations is what it's saying. Bottom right, IMF chief economist, severe scenario will put some economies into outright recessions with global inflation above 6% and inflation expectations hard to contain. Meaning, it's going to run away. Hard to contain means they don't know where it's going. That is Fed speak or IMF speak or World Bank speak for whatever we don't know, and also get ready to brace for a minimum 6% inflation. Then you throw in what's happening up in Ireland with the fuel strikes, what's happening down in the UK or just in England in general here. UK farmers considering nationwide fuel and fertilizer protests. Oh, you can't do that. Diesel's risen 63% during this. Now we're going to debase the currency because we're moving into a new financial system here.
Oh yeah, digital. And they're going to need a chip implanted in everybody.
Based on stable coins and on-demand liquidity, and
this was when it was more, I guess, silver, and it's like shit.
The old fiat system is crumbling. Let's take
Hey, it's Rome, ain't it? Ain't this Rome's currency? Ancient Rome's currency? Yeah, as you can see, they've been doing the here. America's on the same path too as ancient Rome.
Look at the Romans.
Yep, Rome.
And we can see the march in time as we move forward. It gets more and more debased. But look at that. It's by the decade. Look how fast that happens from, say, 2040 to 2070. That 30 years, it went from 40% fine silver to 5% fine silver. So you can see how the debasement took 30 years, and then the collapse ensued as soon after.
And it's just like Rome, a miracle.
This is why they're talking about energy lockdowns this time. Because of all of that. People getting angry, people getting hungry. We're going to need to lock you down so you can't cause too much trouble. And I would point out, remember in 2019, at the end before COVID started, there was a international set of protests against every central bank that was planned across the world. Now, it had reached about 20 to 22 daily protests in front of all the central banks in 22 nations. That was quickly going to 23, 25, 27, 30. And the powers that be said, we can't have this. There's too much awareness on the debasement of the currency from the central banking system. One protest, one country, not a worry. 20 protests, 20 countries, daily, big. Suddenly COVID comes. And we had an ability to print money forever with not a single question asked. And you know what stopped? All those protests stopped. So here we are, we're on another one. People are going to start protesting fuel and food and just daily cost of living rises as well as insurance and all these other things. It's going to get nasty. These people are going to get incredibly angry.
And yeah, uproars of the people, and these people are going to result to going after their kings and princes, invading one another. Let me get to that. People are going to say enough is enough. You're already going after some of these tech people. I don't know if it's legitimately real. I mean, somebody did throw some Molotov cocktails, but They could be an agent. But then again, could be either way it goes, people gonna be pissed off. People gonna turn around pissed off. Civil War division gonna be breaking out. 2 Ezra chapter 15 verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Hey, when it comes to your kings, princes, they ain't gotta be governors and mayors. They ain't just gotta be damn presidents and prime ministers. It could be also be those tech oligarch folks, because they have a say so in government too, especially when they got access to AI and all that shit. Yeah, they play a part in government too and rule over you people. And then guess what? You people ain't gonna give a fuck about it. You gonna be want to go after them niggas and kill them. Yep. Yeah, they gonna be people gonna be out there getting put to death. Yeah. Oh shit. What I'm doing?
And what do you think is going to happen? My bet is on past as a possible scenario for the future. They're going to try to lock everything down. The copper supply chain is breaking, and that's a defense problem. Every radar system, power grid, data center, weapons platform, and secure communications network depends on copper. While the mainstream media sleeps, the U.S. government is moving under emergency authorities to lock down domestic supply. And if you understand how modern defense and infrastructure owns 100% of the Palmer Project, asking governor and with strategy, well, the government are what hold value. The Copper Corp for town forward to that point of global movement toward a single point of something that needs to change. Global governments can't have that. No way. That's exactly what happened with the 2019 central bank protests. They stopped in an instant. You had to lock down and stay at home. No more protests. Can't go outside. Remember that?
No, he's just getting some random news. If you want to watch the rest of it, they go to title of it. They go to channel. I guess he started talking about food now. Let's see what they talking about. Food. Farmers issue food warning. This global famine.
This has got to be the scariest news we have seen in years. And I'm talking about going back to 2020 and the chaos that the world experienced at that time. Right now, farmers across the United States and really around the world are already warning that we are destined for a food crisis. It's going to happen here in the United States as well as other countries as well. But what we are hearing is that without fertilizer, which is the big issue right now, I talked to a friend of mine, I'll explain what he's doing, but without fertilizer, we can't feed 8.3 billion people. No, we can really only feed between 1 to 2 billion people. That means we can potentially, at most, feed a quarter of the world's population. How scary is that? Look at some of the things we're seeing right now here in the U.S. It says, Iran war causing fertilizer prices to spike. South Carolina farmers warn of impact on food costs. And then it says Kentucky farmers brace for higher fertilizer and diesel costs amid Iran conflict. We are not out of this. According to multiple sources, they are saying even if this war were to end today, even if the Strait of Hormuz opened up completely today, there has still been so many issues. This conflict has gone on for far too long. What, I believe we're in week 6? Yeah, or week 7? This is an issue. I want to play a clip for you though. Listen to this right here, because this is just showing us how dire the situation is. Look at this.
Fertilizer. If we don't have the fertilizer, we can't grow the potatoes. And it's not just potatoes, it's a whole range of crops. We eat food, okay? We eat this green stuff. It actually starts as brown stuff because the fertilizer is an essential part of growing all the food we eat. And the fertilizer is produced by a process called the Haber-Bosch process, which takes petroleum and nitrogen and fixes them in such a way that you can put this on the field and your plants will grow courtesy of the fertilizer. If we didn't have fertilizer at all, guess how many billion people the planet could actually support?
I don't know.
Between 1 and 2.
And fertilizer comes from this region?
Again,
okay. We're going to watch the rest of this in just a moment. But a lot of people were asking me this several weeks ago when I said there's a fertilizer crisis here in the United States. That people, or farmers, were trying to get fertilizer in order to grow their crops. And somebody asked, well, why do we need fertilizer? Why can't we just grow everything organically? Well, here's the issue. Let's look at grass, for instance, because most people would be able to understand this as opposed to really diving into the crops, because again, I'm not a farmer. But based off of the metaphor that my friend was giving me is, let's say you planted grass, or you got your grass for this year, and it looks good, it's green, and it's decently growing. But if you put fertilizer on it, it grows from maybe 1 to 2 inches to maybe grows 3 or 4 inches over the course.
Grow faster. It accelerates the growth, especially when you got a lot of people to feed. You got to have that fertilizer to feed a bunch of people at a fast rate.
Course of a week, it really grows.
And then plus, the soil You know, the soil that these people use for farming, they don't give the land no rest. So they use it, you know, when it comes to celebrating or giving plants growth, they got to do it at a synthetic, artificial way with synthetics and chemicals and such. But not naturally letting it grow. And then it can't grow because the damn land is so stripped out with so many nutrients. That's why you have to use the fertilizer. But anyway, yeah, the ground all fucked up. They ain't giving it time to rest, and I said that already. But yeah, anyway,
it's because of the nitrogen. That's the key here. The nitrogen is really helping it grow and grow at a faster rate. Well, what if we did this for things like, you know, just different vegetables, right? What if we needed fertilizer in order to have more growth so we have more crops? The same metaphor going back to grass. For like cows, think about this. If a cow eats the top 2 inches of the grass and now we only have 2 inches left, well, that might take him just another couple days. But
another thing too, like in the video he did or played earlier, they can have fertilizer, but they need to have rain too. But there ain't much rain. There's droughts going on. So it's really, you know, if they have the fertilizer, they got to have water. And then without water, it's absolutely pointless for it to be growing with the fertilizer and such. Anyway,
what if we put fertilizer, now it goes back to 3 to 4 inches again, and it happens every single week? That's the key here. That's why we need fertilizer, so we can grow our crops faster. We're not producing more over a larger area. We're actually doing the same in the same area, but the crops are growing faster.
In the same area, and not giving it no time to rest and rebuild. Cause you gotta give it like some years to let that shit recover, especially. But no, I mean, yeah. But without fertilizer, anyway, it's done. It's wrapped.
Which we can have more production, meaning we can feed more people. That's the key here. So the rest of this.
Nearly 30% of our fertilizer comes through that region.
Through the Strait of Hormuz. Where's it coming from?
It's coming again from the same gas field that's producing the helium, produced as a side effect of fertilizer. But you need, I'm not a chemist, okay, so I can get these things wrong. But you need sulfuric acid as well as part of these production processes. 20% of the world's fertilizer, helium, sulfuric acid, all pass through that strait. And if you take them away, then you can't make microchips, which is what Korea is suffering
batteries and such
from. You can't make fertilizer, which everybody will suffer from. If we lost 20% of the world's fertilizer, we'd lose roughly 20% of the world's food. And it caused a global famine. We've never had this experience before. We've had
a global famine. Again, this is something we've never experienced before. Because during 2020 and that global crisis then, we still had some food being produced. Okay? Again, there were supply chain shocks, but remember what inflation did? Shot up. Remember what happened at grocery stores? They were bare. That's what we could see again. Now, this is why I want to show you a few things, okay? First off, this one. This is what I've been recommending to people for some time. Go and get yourself an indoor garden, a hydroponic growing system. That's what you need so you can grow your own vegetables.
Wow, that little shit. Yeah, you can do that. You can barely goddamn feed yourself for that. But whatever.
You can do it yourself. It doesn't matter if it's sunny outside, if it's rainy, if it's snowy. You can be growing your own vegetables indoors. I highly recommend you go get something like that. I'll put a link to this growing system down in the description box below. So make sure you go and check it out. Okay? If not, no big deal. But if you have your own growing system, if you have an indoor garden, you do not have to rely on all the farmers that are struggling to produce things like tomatoes, cucumbers, kale, whatever you want, right? You can grow it in your own home. Now, I want to read you something that a friend sent me. I sent him a message, kind of asked him like, what's he going through, kind of how's his farm, how's it pretty much doing at this time, and almost if he sees any issues. This is what he wrote back to me, and he says, and I quote, "Good to hear from you. To make a long story somewhat short, I have had my fertilizer orders canceled 8 times in the past month. I have been lucky enough to get some fertilizer from a family member's friend, but he has his own crops to grow. Right now, we are at a fork in the road. Do we continue operations and hope things get better, or do we put the farm on the market? The problem that we all face is that due to this war, rising food prices will be locked in for some time. Hopefully this helps." Now, here's what I can tell you. People all over are concerned about food prices, okay? But these are average people like you and I, not farmers. We're not ranchers, right? We don't grow our own, mass supply of food. We just don't. We go to the grocery store and we buy it just like everyone else. Well, everyone like you and I are going to feel the impacts because the farmers are now at a crossroads. Okay? I have a friend who is considering buying a farm, not for the farm itself, for the land. He wants the land so that he can he's a commercial developer, so he can go and put up a whole commercial space. Okay? That's what he wants it for. So he's just one of the many people, many developers that's looking at the raw land. and removing the farm, removing what it does to the economy and to the normal everyday person. And he wants to put a commercial space in there, okay? Because that's going to make more money, and it will. But by him doing that and pulling a farm off the market, that's going to hurt everyone else in the community. Here's what I can tell you, though. This is a crisis. We are hearing statements like global famine, the worst food crisis ever that the world has ever seen. Not enough fertilizer to feed 8 billion people. Only enough to feed possibly a quarter of the world's population. That's concerning. That is extremely concerning. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section.
Anyway, let's see what this is about. I just add another video in. I'm just curious about what this guy gonna talk about. But 2 chapter 16 verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be good and cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yep. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape hunger, shall the sword destroy. So if you ain't dying from famine, lack of bread, guess what? You're gonna be dying by that sword of war. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, like doo-doo. So imagine being somewhere, a place where there's a bunch of dog shit. That's how people gonna be laid out on the ground, just a pile of dog shit. Yep. And there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth. So that's talking about the farmers, and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? Yeah, so there ain't gonna be nobody picking that shit. You don't see Northern Kingdom or some of Southern Kingdom out there picking fruits, because they worrying about ice coming to snatch their ass up. They ain't picking up no fruits, vegetables, none of that shit. Or butchering, slaughtering, processing creatures to be, processed as meat or food. Where I left off at, the grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? Nobody. For all places shall be desolate of men. So men won't be around, and it'll be desolate of men. Men gonna be out there fighting in wars, or either getting killed. Shit, yeah. So that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. Yep. It's gonna get bad out here. Seek Yahweh Shema Shah.
Hey everyone, Scott here. Now, I'm not being facetious when I say this could be the last straw for Aussies.
Do you agree with the estimates that groceries could go up 20% because of the war?
Well, obviously we know that there will be a flow through in the economy, and as I said, we're doing everything we can to shield Australians as much as we possibly can.
Do you think they could go up 20% though? Is that possible?
Certainly, that's not the figures that Treasury is modelling at the moment, but this war is unpredictable. We don't know how long it's going to go for, Andrew. We know that fertiliser input costs are also significant, so we do know this is impacting, and as I said, the big supermarkets at the moment, they're telling me, are trying to put downward pressure in terms of trying to protect consumers from those price increases at the moment.
From what you've just said, could we see groceries go up 5 to 10%, say?
We're working with industry. We are doing everything that we can do. We've got the Food and Grocery Council, we've got the ACCC.
I understand, but how much do you think grocery
fucking answer that question.
Prices are going to go up because of this war?
Well, it depends on how long it goes for, Andrew, and it depends, on the impact further down the chain. Certainly, what we're seeing at the moment is an initial impact.
Well, how do we know if we grow a crop we're going to go field to harvest? That's in the back of everyone's mind. I've been here 60 years and I've never made it.
The fuel costs for us that have been handed on to us have practically doubled. It's just something we just can't continue to wear. And then if I put my farmer hat back on that I'm wearing now, I think the farmers, like us as a dairy farmer, we're not really seeing the huge impacts right now, but they're certainly coming to us. Did you hear what the Agricultural Minister said? She cannot rule out a 20% increase in food prices over the coming weeks. Cannot rule that out. Let me say that again. Not in weeks, but in months, will not rule out a 20% increase to food prices. And then you've got farmers on the ground calling this the worst food crisis they've seen in their lifetime. We're talking 60, 70 years. It's gotten so bad that some of them are abandoning paddocks because they simply can't sow anything. And if that wasn't enough, Russia and China have now stopped exporting key fertilizers. Urea, sulfuric acid, the stuff that actually grows your food. They're holding it back for...
How the fuck sulfuric acid helps grow food? They put that shit in batteries. That shit eats things up. Sulfuric acid. I got some downstairs in my basement. I thought I was gonna use that shit to I was trying to restore deep cycle batteries, but nah, it didn't happen. And that shit burns holes in your clothes and shit. You can do some damage to your body. Just shit. How the hell? It's in fertilizer. Anyway.
Themselves. So you tell me, can it get any worse than this? Actually don't, because every time we think it can't get worse, it does. Right now, we're drowning in crises. Oil, food, housing, recession,
Drowning plagues.
fears. And I keep asking myself, when does this end? Hey guys, it's
When
got
the missiles come, when the warheads get dropped.
here, coming to you from
When the
Orange
Lord
County
returns and to gather his people up. Yep.
in Los Angeles. And I don't mean to flood your feed with negative news every single day. Every time I scan around, look for something positive to bring you. Actually, there is not a lot that I...
Hell no. There is some positive news. This truth. Yeah, hearing the downfall. You want to see the downfall of your enemies, and that's beautiful to see. They all divided. The woman, the heathen woman against the heathen man. And I love it. And then plus it's just the destruction. I love it. How their world is coming to an end. They were so proud to see their world up and running and claiming they doing this and they doing that. And now they're not doing shit. Anyway.
Is there anything positive? And honestly, there really isn't much to share. Now look around you. I'd rather you understand what's coming now than get blindsided later. And that's my job here, is to warn you and prepare you so that
your job of the prophets. Let me see what this is about.
Mainstream media isn't connecting the dots. Working with it. But why is it that Australia is getting hit so much harder? Where did we go
wrong?
wrong?
I'm not going to play too much of this video because how much time we got? Yeah, I'm about an hour in. Yeah, you know what? Let me get to the next one. If you want to watch the rest of it, be my guest. They go title, they go to channel, and it's just something to play. This talking about in Australia. So, like I said, man, these players that the Lord is bringing is worldwide. And you got this one too. I'm gonna play some of this. This in the UK.
Could the UK be facing a summer of shortages on our supermarket shelves?
Well, government officials have reportedly drafted plans for a reasonable worst-case scenario amid fears that the war in Iran will lead to shortages of carbon dioxide, which is critical to the food industry.
Well, it comes as the International Monetary Fund says that the Chancellor is raising taxes here in the UK at the fastest pace in the world.
Well, let's speak now to journalist Candice Holdsworth, who joins us in the studio. Morning to you, Candice. What are we expecting to see shortages of?
So this is quite interesting. This is a story that's been covered in all the major newspapers this morning. It's something called Exercise Turnstone. So government officials have been planning for worst-case scenario in which in the Iran war, the Strait of Hormuz remains permanently closed, there's no deal, and we can't get vital CO2 supplies into the UK, which we need in various industries. I mean, it's used in food and pork, it's used in chicken and pork production to preserve food for longer. And actually, what's quite interesting is we had supply chain disruptions last year with CO2. So, I mean, Donald Trump's tariffs have introduced quite a lot of uncertainty into the supply chain. So as a solution to these possible shortages, they've brought back online the Ensis bioethanol plant in Teesside. They actually agreed a deal with them last year to invest $100 million into the plant because it was due to close. But I think since COVID, there's been a lot of thinking in government that we need to onshore critical industries and we need to have the infrastructure, and you can't rely on global supply chains. So I find this fascinating. This is just getting more and more common since COVID, that government is involving itself in industry to ensure food security or energy security or even technology security.
But I mean, in a way, it's crazy not to. When you see that the Strait of Hormuz is one pretty small waterway. I mean, it's about the width of the English Channel, pretty much. And its closure cripples the globe. I mean, that's utterly crazy, isn't it?
Yes, and it's not just that as well. It's the Bab el-Mandeb Strait as well. So this is just outside Saudi Arabia. And there are fears that the Houthis could start firing missiles again. That could also disrupt these supply chains. I mean, we must take note. They're saying that this is worst case scenario. You're not saying that this is likely to happen, but it could happen. And you don't want to be caught out by this kind of thing. I mean, I found it so fascinating during Biden's term in the US administration, where he designated things like computer chips as national security. I mean, this is increasingly the thinking now.
Yeah.
In terms of preparedness, though, there are three things that come to mind in terms of our security, and that is our energy, our food, and our defence. And it won't be lost on people that it's those three things that the government so far has failed to invest in.
Well, I think so. I think that there seemed to be a lot of pragmatism after the award. There was pragmatism amongst people like Rachel Reeves, some within the Labour movement, that actually we need to think very carefully about energy security, because I think a lot of criticism of things like exploring for more oil in the North Sea was that it wouldn't affect the price of energy because that's set globally. But really, one important thing is it's just security, just ensuring a steady supply of these things. We cannot always rely on international markets to do that.
No, and just briefly, the international...
I ain't playing no more. If you want to watch the rest of it, they go to title, they go to channel. Okay, I don't want to keep clicking on new videos related to food crisis and famine, but let me see what this is about. I had this on my list yesterday. I'm gonna play a little bit of this too next, whatever. Man, I'm tired.
To substitute product on that, you just can't. There's no way to substitute these films that are already made for these certain.
It's not just food shortages and famine. Hey, the way to store and contain the food, that's going to be a shortage in that too.
Packages. So the food disruption not going to be from the food disrupted as it's not grown, which is a fertilizer issue. It's going to be from the plastics packaging side of things.
It's going to be on all that stuff. Shit.
First. How are you as a buyer going to change your life because of that disrupted packaging that won't be? My products will just disappear because they won't be able to pack them and ship them. But the packaging to put it in the boxes or shrink wrapped or Mylar pack, filled bags with inert gases to get you your product on the store, it just won't be available to do that.
Moving on to tonight's program, look around. No wonder you're paying more at the store, you're paying more at the gas pump. This is definitely paranormal, which makes it perfect for us to talk about. All the way from the other side of the world, where it is already Wednesday morning, is David Dubine. He is joining us from the other side of the country. I won't say where he is unless he wants to tell us, but he is on the other side of the country, so he has time traveled literally because it's Tuesday night for me. We've had David on the program many times throughout the years talking about these important subjects that seem to happen in cycles. In fact, his podcast, The Civilization Cycle, and also we know him from Adapt 2030. He has studied the food cycles throughout history and how they affect food production, and he's with us now. Hi, David.
Jeremy, good to be with you again. Thank you for having me on. And I am in Taiwan. Anybody who wants to know, I was in Taipei last week, and now I'm in the southern end of the island down here in the tropical. I see the palm trees, coconut trees, and the rice fields out my window. I'm in a farming area that I live. I choose to live about 2 hours outside Kaohsiung in the farming district, even down here. Why would I do that? Because if you're ever going to move to action, the time is now. Really, there's no BS assessment. This is it. This is the reset we've all been talking about. This is the reason, the excuse they're going to have for restrictions of energy and resetting the economy. So if you're going to move to action, I would highly suggest this is your final go time right now.
So how do you view the situation from down there? Because maybe you're seeing impacts different than we are up here. Or over there, I guess.
I'm seeing the plastic shortages here manifesting before you're going to see them back there. So plastics is the number one thing for food packaging. If we don't have plastics, do you imagine what foods will not be available in our supermarkets or fresh foods or, Mylar bag pack types of things, cookie boxes, anything, it all comes in plastic. Even if it's in a cardboard box, when you get it like a box of cookies, inside there's different films that are wrapping up all these foods that we consume. So you're looking at a plastic shortage out here. They're running the plants at minimal capacity because the naphtha is just, and the methane, there's so many disruptions in what would be needed. The hexane's not here. All these different precursors that are needed for plastics are not here. They're running at minimal capacity to try to stretch the supply. And once that's gone, we're going to be a disrupted plastics world. So the packaging is the biggest thing. Like, put it in your mind. You might have to think about going back to bulk foods because the store-bought products, even wrapping the hamburger. But Jeremy, before the show, you were saying, yeah, it's now an hour's wage. Imagine in the Bible when they talk about a day's wages for a loaf of bread. We're already at the pound of hamburger for an hour's wages. You can't even wrap the hamburger without the plastic.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not good for you. We could talk about the...
And one thing I noticed, a lot of products that have been stored with using plastic and, certain material, the quality is like, say, the quality of food downgraded, but the quality of the packaging of like plastic has gotten less, it's less quality in that shit too. Like, say, for example, this plastic bag, I eat some damn Triscuits. I haven't noticed any. I don't eat these things all the time. I just bought them when I bought them a couple weeks ago when I buy one get one free sale going on. But let's just say you had a product that you noticed that the bag was thicker. They're holding the product, the bag was thicker. But now times, change and, and the quality of stuff has gotten lesser and lesser. The packaging quality of the bag has gotten thinner. I noticed bottles, water bottles, the plastic, the bottles have gotten thinner. The top has gotten thinner. They try all these, these companies try so many ways to cut corners and such to save some money. The hell? This shit's a triangle. Alright, whatever. I'm trying all kind of ways to cut corners. Not just from serving food and cutting corners on the food too, not just how many quantities they put in the store in a package, but also, you know, the ingredients they put fillers in because it's cheaper, but also the packaging of the product is gotten cheaper too and shitty.
The health impacts of that nonetheless, but the fact of the matter is a lot of things are packaged, and there's a connection between...
Another thing too, when the packaging has gotten cheaper, that shit can easily break down more. Yeah, and break down and seep into your food and whatever the hell. Anyway.
What is it, the petroleum and the plastics?
Yeah, absolutely. You need where does plastic come from? Well, it comes from those different drips out of when you're distilling a barrel of oil. It's no different than distilling alcohol out when you come off your mash. Different things and different volatiles come off at different temperatures and different pressures, and that's how we made all these tens of thousands of different chemicals. They're just tweaking pressure and temperature, and you're getting all these different substances, and that's how we've done it in the last 50 years, is creating all these new products.
The copper supply chain is breaking, and that's a defense problem. Every radar block where house counting here winner couldn't be their acquisition. Use the copper cluster days.
And every from is this part of the game it out like a
box below.
And one of them is plastic, and it's called naphtha. So anybody out there that just wants to game it out like a really easy one, naphtha disruption equals plastics disruption, and everything else off of that, and the different hexane and different products things. Big thing that all plastic precursors are made and come from is this part of the barrel of oil called naphtha. Everything else is cracked off of that. Everything else moves from that. So just naphtha equals plastic. That's all disrupted. You can read miles of headlines of naphtha being disrupted across, and it's coming to Asia. And Asia is your main manufacturing point. So it's hitting here first. It's going to hit these bigger countries in the West next. But just like it was with COVID, started here first. Oh, nothing's going to happen. And then whoosh, we got steamrolled. So expect the same steamrolling of plastic shortages. And how are companies going to deal with that? How are you as a buyer going to change your life because of that disrupted packaging that won't be? My products will just disappear because they won't be able to pack them and ship them. This is another thing, adjusting your diet based on disruptions, just based on, not the food shortage itself. There's plenty of food. But the packaging to put it in.
I don't know about plenty of food, but either way, I mean, shit, it's whatever. Food gonna be expensive as hell.
In the boxes or...
Yeah, it's either gonna be a lack of food for certain areas, a lack of bread in certain areas, then it could be you can't afford the food because it's too expensive. And also, you know, the lack of bread because of the lack of packaging. And it's too expensive. Pretty much it's all a disaster. But these are the players of the Lord is bringing Yahweh Shemal Shah. So the best thing you need to do is seek the Yahweh Shemal Shah, because they're the ones who's bringing this. And using Esau and these heathens to orchestrate a global famine just for you to get a chip implant. Yeah, force your way to get an RFID microchip implant. Because, yeah, all this shit that's going on in the world is all about leading you to the RFID microchip implant, the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast is not a fucking cell phone. It's an implantable microchip. Anyway, and if you don't like what I say, fly away.
Shrink wrapped or, Mylar packed, filled bags with inert gases to get you your product on the store. It just won't be available to do that. So you can't rethink a package in like a week and then put it out. This is like a multi-year process, these companies that repack.
Does the packaging go through testing?
It does, but if they're going to retool a pack, it's going to take years to do that. They have to retool their entire lines to fit a new package. That's why, remember Tyson Chicken a few years ago? It was probably like 5 years ago. There was a strike, and the employees were not working in Tyson. And the chickens grew past a certain date, so they didn't fit the pre-conformed molds of when a chicken reaches a certain size. Those packages are already made for that chicken to slide into that pack. So they went past it by a few days, and the chickens were too large to slide into the package sleeves, or those plastic sleeves. And they had to, sell hundreds of millions of chickens because they went past their size date. It's the same thing. They're all tooled together. The amount of cookie. Now think about cookies, for example. Those cookies are a certain size, and they're put into different harder sleeves, and then on top of that there's a light film, and then it's either in a package, a package itself of plastic, or it's in a box. But to substitute product on that, you just can't. There's no way to substitute these films that are already made for these certain packages. So the food disruption not going to be from the food disrupted as it's not grown, which is a fertilizer issue. It's going to be from the plastics packaging side of things first. I would just say take an inventory of what plastics are around your house and your food packaging, because those will be disappearing first. Then we could go right on to the fish. Like the fish, if you buy fish or fish.
You want to watch the rest of the video, there go the title, there go the channel, get the last one.
Grocery prices are actually pissing me off right now.
It is so hard to even just buy normal, regular groceries.
Do you want to know why Americans are struggling? Probably because the price of groceries are insane.
It's so expensive!
Whether you're feeding a family of 5 or just yourself, the numbers at checkout don't lie. Groceries are becoming increasingly unaffordable for everyday Americans. For many households, the situation is getting critical. Today, we're looking at what real people are experiencing right now at the grocery.
Audio went out. Hold on. Worst time ever. Hold on.
Line in.
Well, since I got the video on pause, let me go ahead and read this. Hagar chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. So you work so hard and you ain't earn much money for the things you need, like food. Ye eat, but ye have not enough, or water. Ye drink, or water to drink, or to bathe your butt with too. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, clothing too, yeah. But there is none warm. And to save money, you ain't got enough money to save money. And he that earneth wages that put it into a bag with holes. So pretty much the reason why I'm reading this, because you ain't got enough money for food. And any of this other stuff not to save either. But anyway, back to the video.
I need you to be honest, how much are you spending on groceries a month? Because it's just me and my partner, and we're spending about $1,000 a month. He has a specific diet, he doesn't eat high-carb foods, so there is that. That definitely doesn't help. But that's not even counting eating out. That's $250 a week just on groceries.
Grocery prices are actually pissing me off right now. We are spending $350 to $400 a week on groceries for a family of 5, and that doesn't even last a whole week. Let me know in the comments what you're spending on groceries. I know that we have teenage growing boys that eat a lot, but damn, how are people doing this? I'm working on growing a garden, but realistically, that's only going to help us a little bit. I cook dinner every night, and people say cook from scratch. Well, we have to have 2 incomes just to live these days, and no one's home all day to be cooking all these meals from scratch. And the next thing you're thinking is meal prep. First of all, who wants to eat a bunch of food that was cooked days ago? I don't. Plus, you get 2 days off a week to do everything you didn't get to do throughout the week. There's not enough time. This rat race is freaking crazy. I'm about to sell my car and anything else I can because I'm trading hours of my life to go to a place I don't want to go to, and I'm barely surviving, and it's really weighing on me. And sure, there's cheaper food options, but at the expense of your health. Today's grocery day, and I'm on one today. Let me know what you do to lessen your grocery budget. Apparently, I don't know how to grocery shop, and it's breaking me. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Why are groceries so damn expensive? I just stopped on my way home from work to get something for tonight, and my God, it was like over $40. It's insane. Like, I think about my kids when they were growing up. We had 4. So to feed a family of 6, I would go to the grocery store. I might have spent $120 for the whole week, and that would feed all 6 of us. Breakfast, lunch, and supper. And now I can't even get out just for supper for over $40. It's insane to me. I was a stay-at-home mom, and my husband worked at the time, and we were good. I mean, the kids were fed, they had clothes on their backs. There's no way, I don't see how a family can make it now with just one of the parents working.
Well, you had a lot of you Israelites living like this.
I mean, there's
one
just
parent, mostly a woman, single mom, feeding 2 children, maybe fucking 50 of them. I don't know. You know, but anyway, and curses, hey, the same shit that they're going through right now, y'all, hey, we're going through it too. We the first one, but now y'all, anyway, all niggas going through it. Get used to it. Tie up your bootstraps, nigga.
no way. Everything's expensive.
Sheetamite woman, all you see is the Sheetamite woman down, or the Edomite woman, she damn complain her ass off. Hey man, deal with it.
Not only groceries, but housing and rent and gas, and I mean, it's just insane. And something needs to get done about it, because I don't know how much longer people can go like this. Thank God I've got a pretty good job where I can afford groceries, but I know there are people struggling right now, and it's awful, and things need to get lower, or this whole economy is just going to be bad. And I want to add, tonight's supper, that's just feeding a family of 3. So, yeah, over $40. crazy.
Okay, I know I'm old, and there's lots of signs that I'm old, but I literally today was that lady at the grocery store where they rung something up. I couldn't believe how expensive it was, and I told her, I'm not buying that. You guys can put it back. It wasn't nasty, but like, I just wanted to check and see if I'm out of line here, okay? I live in Cleveland, Ohio. Today I went to our expensive grocery store, which is Heinen's. It's a local grocery store chain across Northeast Ohio. I don't shop there all the time because they are expensive, but I went there for a couple of reasons. They sell the particular kind of apples that my partner likes, and I wanted to pick some of those up. They also sell local honey, and while I usually shop at Walmart because it's cheap, or Aldi, they don't have local honey, and I like local honey, and I don't have time to go to farmers markets because most of them are on Saturday and I'm too busy. So I saw that they had fresh mangoes, which I don't usually buy this time of year. It's too early. And I went over, gave a couple of them a gentle squeeze, and they were ripe, and they looked nice. And I'm like, I will get one mango. That will be my treat for this shopping trip. It wasn't on my list. I tend to stick to my list. I get up there. She's ringing up the fucking groceries. She rings up the mango. $6.99.
Anyway, yeah. And the Lord's breaking the staff of bread or either making it more expensive for you to eat. It's the support, the staff of bread is the support. But let me close up because I'm tired. Let me see. Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you. And I will increase the famine upon you and will break your staff of bread. So this is Yahweh Shema Bashar bringing this judgment and these plagues upon the whole earth. And oh yeah, speaking of that, not just America, but the whole earth. Let me get to scripture about the whole earth being plagued. If I can find it in time. Oh, where is it? I know I just went past it. Here you go. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 37. Oh, I got sneezed. Behold, I got sneezed again. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack as a woman, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains, comparison wounds, which pains. When the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. So it's gonna be everywhere, all over the world, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So it's gonna be north, south, east, and west. Amen. Best thing you need to do for you Israelites is seek the Lord and repent, because it's gonna be a hell of a ride, man. A hell of an experience that nobody don't want to experience, but we're gonna have to go through it. Just pray the Lord give you the strength to endure. But a lot of these people, they meant to be destroyed. Yep. And there's gonna be a lot of death, famine, pests. People be eating each other, eating their children, their pets, all kind of shit. They'll be eating fucking leather belts and shoes. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna get bad, bruh. So hey, listen to the prophets. Seek the prophets. Seek the prophets and listen to what they say. And try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worship Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repent to the Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order with Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful lake and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Shalom.